So, hello everyone. Today we are doing Cisco AnyConnect configuration with authentication with Cisco ICE. So this is my topology where you can see that DNS server is pre-configured here. Please keep in mind DNS server is pre-configured, and this is my Cisco ICE which is connected to the management network, and Cisco ASA will be also management interface also will be connected to the management network. And coming to the router, this one is an inside network. So I will be giving the IP address for router as 10.1.1.2 via 10.1.1 as a default gateway, which is the ASA inside network. And the ASA outside network is 20.1.1.1, which is connected to the client PC 20.1.1.10. So intention of this lab is whenever the VPN authentication takes place, the user should be authenticated with ICE. After authentication of the ICE, then according to the policies, it should be able to get the IP address of 192.168.164.0 from that subnet, and the client should be able to access the internal network, that is router. So to get the, instead of accessing to the IP like http.192.168.101.3, so I am assigning the IP address DHCP pool in the management network so that the client can have the access to the DNS server, and instead of accessing the IP address, the client can directly access the server1.sysable1.com. So that's how he's gonna access the loopbacks of the router. So admin PC, this is my PC where I will be able to access the ICE as well as the management interface of the ASA for the ASDM. So let's go ahead and do some configuration. So first, I will configure the router first. Then I will configure the ASA. After that, we will be configuring the Cisco ICE and we will be assigning the policies in that one. So I'll go ahead and I will get the Cisco ASA, router first, console, and I will take the console. So first I will check if any configuration has been done or not. No, there is no configuration done. So I will go ahead and I will assign the IP address. And I will assign the loopbacks. So I have assigned the interface IP address and the two loopbacks. So if I go do show IP interface brief, then I should be able to see the interface IP address, the loopback 0 and loopback 1. And I will give the default route towards ASA, that is 10.1.1. And I will do HTTP server authentication. IP HTTP server authentication. Authentication local, and then I will give a username as Cisco. I will give a privilege of 15 and password as Cisco. So now the configuration of the router has been done. So we will go ahead and configure the ASA. So ASA is ASA2. We'll take the console. Show interface IP brief. I just want to check anything has been configured. Nothing has been configured. So I will go ahead and first I will assign a hostname as ASA2V. Next, I will configure the management IP address. I will assign the security level of 50 and IP address will be management subnet C4.150. No check. And next, I will assign the outside interface, and that is 70.1.1.1. No check. Then next, I will assign the inside interface. No check. Now I should be able to ping 10.1.10. Next, I should provide the route for the loopbacks because I am unable to ping the loopbacks of the router now. There is no route. So I will assign the static route saying that route inside 192.168.255.0.0 via 10.1.10. Now I should be able to ping the loopbacks. Yes, I am able to ping the loopbacks. So now HTTP server, I should be enabling for that one ASDM, and HTTP any traffic on management to access the ASDM. So this was the configuration. So next, what we will do, we will access the ASDM now. So I'll go ahead and access the ASDM here. So this is my, so I don't have any username and password, so I will click OK, continue. So now I am able to log into the ASDM. So what I would do, I would go to wizards here and I will click on VPN wizards, AnyConnect VPN. So click on next and I will say profile 1 in the outside interface. Next, and I will assign a certificate like add the self-signed certificate by trust point trust 1 and add a new certificate that is with a new key pair and 1024 is CCI key and say generate now. And also don't forget to check mark this one, generate the self-signed certificate and add certificate. Enrollment succeed. Okay. So click on next. So here you should add the Cisco AnyConnect image. So first I will look into the flash. There is nothing. So I will go ahead and I will upload from my local files. So this is the package file. And so this is the image package file which I have to select and I will click on upload file. Now that the Cisco AnyConnect image file has been uploaded, we'll go ahead, click on next. And this time, instead of adding the local user, I will say that add a new Radius server. So I will click on new and I will provide the group as ICE. And the authentication protocol will be Radius and server IP address will be 192.168.164.212. That is the IP address of my ICE and it will be located on management interface and the radius key will be Cisco123 and say OK. So this is when we join the device with ICE, we have to provide the Cisco 123 shared key. Next. So here you can see that authentication is via AAA server, that is ICE. Next, I will have to create the DHCP pool. So I click on new and I will provide the name as DHCP. And keep in mind that I am providing the DHCP pool within the management interface because I want the client to access the DNS server instead of IP address. 30 and here it should be right 168, 64, 21, 30, and this one will be class C, and I will say okay, next. So my DNS server is 192.168.164.200 and the name is sysable1.com. Click on next, 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 and finish. So now we have to do certain things before we finish up with the ASDM. So I will click on connection profiles and I will click on this profile which I have created. Click on edit and I have to allow the remote users here in the Windows VPN establishment, allow remote users and say go to the server list also and we will be editing this one too. Just the group URL, it should be the same FQDN because we don't have the DNS server for this particular outside interface. So click on OK. OK. Sorry, I just clicked on reset by mistake. So I'm just going again. Remote user, server list, edit. OK. OK. Apply. So now I will go to the group policies here now. So this is my group policy. I click on edit. And here I will assign that pool which I have created. So I will click on select, assign, okay. And next I have to create the ACL, access list. So that one I will click. For currently I don't have any access list, so I click on manage here. And I will say that name should be, access list name will be servers. And I will allow routers loopback, that is server1.sysable1.com and server2.sysable1.com. So 192.168.102.3. And also one more thing important that I will allow to connect with the DNS server, that is 192.168.164.200. So I'm also allowing the client to access the DNS server to resolve the IP address. Next. Okay. So now here the servers have been selected. So next I will set the ideal timeout as 2880 minutes and it can be moved. It's up to you. Coming to the servers, so we have nothing to change here. So I will go on advanced here and split tunneling. So what I will do, network list, I will say that policy first will be tunnel network list, which we are creating the list, and that list is servers. Should show up here, just give me a minute. Right, click on manage here and select the servers, and here, so what you are saying actually is like you are assigning a policy that the ACL which we have created, that is inside the tunnel list below, and that tunnel list is the servers which the list of ACLs which you have created. So that's all in this one. So click OK and click on assign before you finish and make sure that profile one is ticked and say OK, apply. So next, coming to advanced here. After coming to advanced, we will go to IPsec and we will select the crypto map. So we want the reverse route to be enabled. So here is the reverse route enabled. So click on this one and say apply. And lastly, with the DNS server. So we will be saying my DNS server address is 192.168.164.200, which is located on management interface. And I will say that management interface DNS enabled true. apply. So save, to save the configuration to the ASDM, and it will send all the commands to the Cisco ASA. So now we are done with the ASDM and we are done with the ASA configuration. The only thing is that we have to enable the web VPN on the ASA. So I will close this ASDM. I will say yes, and I will again take the ASA console here, and I will give like web VPN enable outside with any connect image disk 0, and it will select the image and any connect, enable the any connect on outside interface, exit. Right. So next we will go back to the ICE now. Hopefully we have completed the ASA configuration as well as router 1 configuration. Now only we are left with the ICE configuration. So I will go back to ICE here. So this is my ICE. So now I will log into my ICE now, saying admin and password. Now I am able to log into my ICE. So now before we do anything in ICE, so we have to do some particular settings before we proceed with the ICE. So first things, I will go to the administrator, system and deployment, and I will say OK, and I will click on ICE here. And I will be unticking everything on the profiling configuration. I will uncheck all of these settings because I want to manually configure everything and say save. And next, go to the same administrator in systems to admin access. In the authentication, go to the password policy and uncheck everything because I'm just removing the policies, what are the policies required for the particular strong password or user with capital letters and all those things. And I say okay, save. So that by custom I can create my own user and password. And next, administrator, I will go back to the same setting, systems and settings. In the settings, I will click on protocols and I will click on eFast and I will click on eFast settings. And I will rename that name as ICE because I have assigned the group as ICE in ASA, ASDM. And I will click on radius again, next. And I will just uncheck this one and say OK, and this one and say OK, and save. So next we will go to identity management and settings. And in user authentication settings, in the password policy, I will remove everything again for the user also. Before I have removed for the admin, now I have removed for the user. Now we will add the device. So what I will do, I will go back to the administrator, network resources and network device. Here I will be adding the ASA device. That is, click on add and I will say the name as ASA2 to be the same name, and the IP address will be 192.168.164.150 and the subnet should be 32. If you put on 24, then you are not able to provide the multiple devices with the same subnet here. And you don't worry about the model, software version and all those things. Just click on radius here and provide the shade key, that is Cisco 123. So this is the one which we have provided in the Cisco ASDM, and click on submit. So now we have registered our device. So next thing is that to register the create a user now. Going to the administrator, identity management, identities. And here on the left hand side you see users, click on add. And I'm saying that new user as a CCIE and it's an internal user and the password will be CC capital C CCIE 123 and capital C CCIE 123. So same CCIE but capital C and the remaining CCIE 123. And here the user group. So I will assign a user group of employee for this user and I say submit. So now the user also has been created, device also have been joined to the Azure, Cisco ICE. Next, we will create an authorization file before the, go to the policy. In the policy elements, go to the results. And in the authorization, click on authorization profiles. So I will create a profile for AnyConnect. So I will click on add. And I will say AnyConn AnyConnect. I provided the name here. And I will click on Dactyl name and I will say that permit all traffic. So I'm just creating the permit all traffic, and next should be so next after selecting the DACL, we will be selecting something called as web authentication local. Yep, this is the one. And if you want to select any radius timeout or something, then we can select like attributes, click on attributes. And here we will be having the radius, click on radius. And I will click on ideal timeout. I just want to give the limited time access, so I will click on ideal timeout like 2880 and I will say submit. So it says authorization AnyConnect already exists. This is my ICE issue, nothing to worry. Whenever I create the new, it will show me that error. That's okay. So next, going to the policy sets. So now here we will be creating something like authentication and authorization profiles here. So I will click on this plus sign and I will say that anyone, I will provide the name, and here I will provide something called as radius port as virtual. I will click on this one, an attribute, and I will go to ports and I will say post type, NAS port type, and I will select virtual here. So radius NAS port type should be equal to virtual. So click on use and default access, provide the default access, allow network access default and save. So after saving the policy, now click on here, this arrow mark. So you will be inside your authentication and authorization profiles. Click on this authentication profile, and by default we are attaching like internal users. We are saying that this policy applies for the internal users. And next we will go ahead and create the authorization policy. So currently I have only default policy, that is deny access. So I will click on add, and I will say authorization like any2, and I will click here. And now I will select the attribute you like, select this one, click on this one, and select IP address here, click on addresses, and you should find like NAS IP address, radius NAS IP address. And I will provide the radius NAS IP address 192.168.164.150. Make sure you provide the ASA one, not the switch one. If you have the switch, then you have to provide the switch one. The configuration differs from switch or Cisco ASA. So currently I'm directly connecting to the ASA. So next I will say that click on new. I have provided the authentication server like authentication device here. ICE will authenticate with ASA by going to this address, and it will check for the policies and the users. If the user exists, or the user will exist on the ICE, but it will check for the authentication that any connect profiles are existing or not. So next I will click on the user. Now I will provide the user also here, and I'm saying the condition, this is the condition, go to this device and provide this access to that particular policy for this particular user. So I will click on subject here. After clicking on subject, I should be able to see like radius username, and here I will provide that username as CCI, which we have created and use. So now here I will select the policy profile which we have created, authorization profile, select and save. So now everything is good and fine. So let's go ahead with the PC, client PC. We'll go back to client PC now. So I'll click on here, and this is my client PC. I will check for the address. You can see the address as 20.1.1.10. So this is the client IP address here. So next I will try to ping the outside interface of ASA, that is 20.1.1.1. Yes, I'm able to get the reply back. So I will go ahead and I will connect to the ASA, that is 20.1.1.1, and I will say connect. Set the certificate, connect anyway, and here you have to provide that CCIE, the one which we have created in the ICE, and the password is capital CCIE 123, and say OK. So now you see the establishment has been enabled. So connect anyway for certificate error. It's now connecting. So still connecting, now connected. Here you can see that it has the VPN session has been connected. So I'll go ahead and click this one, and I will go back to my ICE now. Here, and I will go to the operation radius live logs, and here I should be able to see that the user has been authenticated. Yes, you can see that CCIE, the user has been authenticated, and the authentication profile has been given that AnyConnect with default policy, which we have assigned as an internal user, and the authorization policy is AnyConnect, which we have created, and the network device is Cisco ASA, and the user identity group is employee, and it has been authenticated by ICE. So if you want to get a report, so just click on this one. So here you can see that authentication succeeded. So on the right hand side, here you can see the different steps which has occurred, and at last return to the radius access accept. So authorization profile also has been attached as AnyConnect. So now I will go back to my client PC, and I will go ahead and I will check the IP addresses assigned for this PC. So you see here 192, 168, 164, 21 has been assigned. So what I will do, I will go ahead and I will ping my DNS server first. Yep, I'm able to ping the DNS server. So I will see that ping accessible1.com, the name resolution first for the DNS. Now, so what I will do, I will go ahead and I will assign the DNS server for this particular adapter. So click on network and sharing, and this is the one Cisco AnyConnect. Click on this one. Go ahead and say properties, and here you should say properties, and just the DNS server has been assigned, but still we are unable to ping that one. So just give one more try. So we are able to ping the IP address, but name resolution is not good. Accessible1.com, ping 192.168.101.3. Yeah, we are able to ping the IP address, but name resolution is we are unable to do it. This is right. 21 subnet mask and everything has been done. That's my local area network. This is the one which we have connected. I will log into my domain server. One second. Yep. So I just logged into my domain server, then I was able to ping that domain name. So now I will ping the server 1.1.com. So I just have to look into my DNS server. The records has been created or not. So I'll go on DNS server, right click on this one, configure DNS manager, and I will go ahead and click on forward this one SysOcle, and I check for the records. Alright, so the IP addresses are like server 3 and server 4. So what I will do, I will go ahead and I will delete this one, and I also will delete this one. So wrong records has been created. So I will go ahead and I create a new records by saying that server 1 and the IP addresses will be 192.168.101.3, and I say add host, and I will add one more host, that is server 2. So server 2 and the IP address will be 192.168.102.3, and I will add the host. But according to our topology, server 1 and server 2, that's the reason I am deleting and creating a new records. Now I will go back to my client PC. So yeah, so I want to resolve that one. So server 1 could not find. So that's an issue of my DNS server. So 168, yes, server. Okay, again the name problem, sorry. This one, but server 1 should have been pinged. Server, I'll go ahead and create a new record, that is server 2. And the IP address for server 2, add host, done, done. Just make sure that there are no spelling mistakes. Okay, so I'll go ahead and see. You should be able to ping, but so what I will do, I will go ahead and disconnect and connect the VPN once again. I think that might resolve the issue. So click on this one, disconnect. Uh, 20.1.1.1, and I will connect again. And provide the name CCI 123. Yep, we are connected. Now I will go ahead and I will ping once again. Yep, now I'm able to ping. I just disconnected and reconnected the session. So after that, I was able to ping that one. So everything has been resolved now. Yep, done. So what I will do, I will go ahead and I will close this window and I will minimize this one, and I will go ahead and click on Google. I will open my browser and I will access the servers from my client PC. Right, so here I will type HTTP server 1. So now I will be providing the username and password for router which we have created, Cisco. And I will select the privilege 15 because I have assigned the privilege 15. And I will say that show IP interface brief. I will send a command and I should get a reply. Yeah, I got the reply. So server 1 has been, we have access to it. So we will check for the server 2. So yes, we do have access to server 2 also. Okay. So never. So you will be selecting the privilege 15. That is the highest privilege. And I will say that show, I will send the command show run. So now you can see that we are able to access the router via browser. So I will go ahead and I will check for the ICE logs now. So when I go back here in the ICE operation radius live logs, here you can see that the user has been authenticated again with the same profiles and all those things, and the security group is employee. So this is how we do the AnyConnect configuration and authentication with ICE for AnyConnect client. Hope you enjoyed this video.